In today's episode, let's continue exploring the untold secrets of the Bible. Apologies, there were indeed many gods during that time. There were numerous gods in ancient times. Speaking of those gods, are they equivalent to the level of Yahweh? When you mention these gods, is there a hierarchy among them? Let me address the question about Lilith. Lilith herself is a being that exists between succuba and a goddess because ancient times did not have a clear distinction between good and evil. She is a spirit or an elf. In the 8th century CE, there is a Jewish text called the Alphabet of Ben Sira that, for the first time, transforms Lilith from a traditional female spirit into Adam's first wife. It sounds like a purely creative invention. However, it is not that simple, as when Lilith left Adam, she pronounced the name of the God Most High and departed. According to the 1st century Midrash, which is the most important Jewish exegetical interpretation, there is a story about a woman named Astera who protected her chastity from the power in the air or archons, who were the sons of the gods. God found her purity admirable and elevated her to the heavens. She ascended to heaven with the power of God's name. In fact, the story of Lilith is based on one version of the Midrash, which tells the story of a chaste woman. She refused to be tamed, and it can be said that during the previous era of the flood, the sons of the gods desired to possess earthly women, but she resisted them due to her chastity. Because of her steadfastness, she gained enlightenment, which is the original version of Lilith. But I have also heard another version where Lilith was expelled from the Garden of Eden and then pursued by angels sent by God because she had joined forces with the devil and secretly bore hundreds of children. The angels told her that she could return to God's embrace or they would kill her children. Lilith, of course, refused and returned to Adam's embrace, only to face the angels' pursuit and curse. Is there any continuation of this story, and how reliable is it? Well, that's a big question. The names of those angels typically end with El in Jewish angelic names, but those three don't. So, those three are definitely not angels and may be some pagan deities. So, is this story really true? This story is clearly a way for Jews in the 8th century to denigrate women because Judaism has always tried to erase the fact that they worshipped goddesses in ancient times and gradually promoted male dominance. So, the Lilith mentioned earlier, originally known as Astera, ascended to heaven. This Astera is actually the Asherah goddess worshipped in the Jewish First Temple itself, who was the wife of Yahweh. Previously, you mentioned that Lilith is also a goddess, and I have heard of several other gods. If I understand correctly, in the Yahweh-based religion, there is only one true God, Yahweh. Alright, let me explain the background. The pantheon of gods in Judaism mainly inherits from the Canaanite religion, as the Levite priests of Judaism were originally priests of the Canaanite goddess Asherah. Since the Jews needed knowledgeable individuals to support their religion, they incorporated all the rituals and beliefs of Canaan into Judaism. Greek records mention a pantheon of gods from ancient Canaan, including a supreme god called Elion, who had a wife named Beruth. Beruth is mentioned in the very first sentence of Genesis, in the beginning, which refers to her. Beruth and Elion together created the heavens and the earth. So, when Genesis begins with, "In the beginning when God created the heavens and the earth," it is actually referring to this original pair of parents who created the heavens and the earth. From this pair, another god named El was born, which means God in Hebrew and is roughly equivalent to Yahweh. Then, this El had a wife named Asherah, as mentioned earlier. During the time of the First Temple in ancient Judaism, they worshipped Yahweh and Asherah. These two gods had a son named Baal, who is often considered a pagan god in the Old Testament. In reality, this Baal is the same as the Son of Man, sitting on the throne mentioned in the book of Daniel. In the Old Testament, Yahweh was seen as a new conceptualization of God that combined this Father figure El and the Son Baal together to form a new God, Yahweh. I heard what you said, and I'm really feeling a headache because what you previously mentioned is completely different from my understanding of the Bible. Moreover, it seems that the story you shared about Lilith and the Canaanite pantheon is also different. And from the original perspective, Lilith giving birth to many children is also derived from Judaism. Furthermore, you mentioned an interpretation from the Book of Enoch, which sounds like Gnosticism. It should be Judaism. Then there's Catholicism, and there's Christianity, and you mentioned the Gnostics as well. How do you differentiate between these religions? Are they considered different sects? In essence, aren't they all based on a common original religion? They can be differentiated based on various factors such as the time period, terminology used, cosmology, and pantheon of gods. I see. So by using the names of the gods, we can differentiate them and their concepts of salvation. That can differentiate them, but I'd like to ask, the stories you mentioned earlier about the gods seem to be completely different from what we understand from the Bible. Is it possible that there are just two different sets of legends or two different sources, and some things have been mixed together and told as the same thing? Let me explain it this way. In ancient times, there was a vast and intricate body of knowledge, cosmology, and pantheon of gods. However, due to political reasons, certain pantheons, cosmologies, or knowledge that they didn't want the general public to know had to be excluded. And what remained is what we know today as the Old Testament, and a similar situation occurred with the New Testament. The New Testament faced the issue of Gnosticism. I understand. I've got a grasp of Gnosticism. We've discussed a lot about Gnosticism before, but it seems like we're running out of time, and we should move into a summary phase. It seems to me that we definitely need to do another episode because I still have many questions to ask Zach. I'm not joking. I've already listed at least 20 or 30 questions to ask Zach. I've only touched on the second question, and I have a lot more to discuss, but let's conclude for now before we move on to the second episode. So, let me provide a brief summary. The most important thing I heard just now is that within religion, the scriptures we consider as classics, such as the Bible, actually appear to have been compiled by four so-called representative gods sitting together. Perhaps they had a few texts in their possession, versions 4, 5, 6, 7, and they compiled them into the Bible. However, as you mentioned earlier, many other scriptures were discarded, and that pile of scriptures, just one step further, could have become a part of the most authoritative Bible we have today. And the one you believe was most important but excluded is called the Book of Enoch. Looking back, I have a sense that, hey, the establishment of knowledge and scriptures within religion was largely intertwined with ancient politics, and it could be said that there was a fusion of politics and religion. Absolutely, it has always been like this since ancient times. Throughout history, it has always been like this. Actually, we are in a better position now. In today's world, we can say that politics and religion can be separated. So, what I really want to do is go back to the origins of our religion, which to a large extent have political reasons behind them. So, this point should be discussed at the end. I really want everyone to have this concept. Because if we just focus on one aspect, like reading a single scripture like the Bible, are we truly understanding the origin of God and everything? Or are we just limiting our perspective to a narrow interpretation within a single scripture? What do you think of my statement, Zach? Well, I think it can be seen that way. In other words, can we put it this way? The current Bible of Christianity or Catholicism only covers a small part of the God you truly want to believe in. So, personally, I really want to ask Zach, when you discover so much reality, It's difficult not to feel betrayed because if you deeply immerse yourself in a religion and truly believe in it, and then you are taught that this is the only truth, and in the end, you realize it's all a big lie. Time is running out, but we still have the opportunity to learn more, to delve deeper into untold secrets of Bible, to discover what else is there. Zach. Well, thank you for your hard work, and I hope you can join us again. Take care. Well, that's it for today's episode. Goodbye. Thank you for watching all 4 episodes of Untold Secrets of the Bible. See you next time.